Today's session, we will be covering the topic of is it permissible to take a bath or a shower or swim on a fast day, and does it depend on the person or situation? Anyone who just gives a blanket answer of yes or no shows that that individual has no knowledge of this topic at all, because this is certainly not a yes or no answer, and there are some complexities that exist in this topic. Firstly, we should just point out that there are 6 fasts annually that occur. We are not talking about Yom Kippur. We are not talking about Tisha Beav. Those are going to be more halachically problematic. Comes out that we have 4 remaining fasts. Tainus Esther is going to be the most lenient. Then we have asar betaves, Sheva betamuz, and Som Gedalya, in no specific order. The Rishonim point out that the reason that the halachas of bathing or showering on one of these minor fasts is different is as follows. On Tisha Beav, there's a full-fledged mourning that occurs, and therefore we're obligated to be involved with the 5 inuyim, similar to on Yom Kippur. We cannot bathe, shower, anoint ourselves, have relations, wear leather shoes, or eat and drink, similar to Yom Kippur. However, when it comes to the other fasts, those are actually going to be different. If we take a look over here at the Shulchan Aruch over here in Siman Tov Kuf Nun Siv Beis, Shulchan Aruch says that these fasts you could, aka Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh Yisrael and Som Gedalya, also Tainus Esther, is permissible to take a bath, shower, and anoint oneself. Okay. The basic reason for this, as the Rishonim point out, is that the Gemara itself discusses also in Rosh Hashanah. When we accepted these fasts upon ourselves, we accepted only the prohibition of eating and drinking, not bathing and showering, and the other afflictions. The Magen Averaham writes, he quotes the Ran over here, "Ein roi v'atzibur יכולים לעמוד בו." Most people couldn't handle not showering, not doing all these activities, not wearing the leather shoes, relations, etc. Everything most people couldn't handle that. Anointing, most people couldn't handle that. Then the Ran said, then the Magen Averaham quotes a fascinating shloh. Välachim Baal nefesh. And therefore a Baal nefesh, someone who cares about the actions that he does. Someone who's literally the owner of his soul. He's scrupulous when it comes to performing mitzvahs. A Baal nefesh Yahmir בכולן. He should be stringent with all of them. Kimo Tisha Beav, like on Tisha Beav. What does with all of them mean? That means that on one of these fast days, he should not be anointing himself, bathing, showering, having relations, or wearing leather shoes. We'll leave out leather shoes. He can still do that. We'll see why in a moment. And furthermore, perhaps very well the Magen Averaham could be going on this part of the Shulchan Aruch as well, that the fast will actually start the night before, and all of these prohibited acts would also apply from the night before. And it seems like the Magen Averaham, the way that he is quoting this shloh, is recommending to do this for someone who is able to handle it. Chutz, except for מחליצת מנהל שלא יהיה כחוכא ותלולה, except for removing the leather shoes so that it won't be a joke. People won't make fun of you that you're not wearing leather shoes on a fast. Okay? We have to come back to that, because this also, the shloh doesn't say such a language. Nevertheless, on the night of tevilah, you should not separate from your wife, which means even if someone will be stringent, nevertheless, you should still be with his wife if it is the night of tevilah. AKA, this is before the fast starts for everyone else. This is the night before. This is the shloh as the Magen Averaham quotes over here in Meseches Tainus, Perek Ner Mitzvah. Yeah.
This is all or nothing. Like if you do one and like you could.
That's right.
Let's say if you don't wear shoes. I mean, even though let's say Tlula says, but let's say you're in a place where you don't get Tlula.
So then you could for sure not wear shoes.
So you could be a Baal nefesh in one. Okay.
You could. that's in addition to everything else. Wouldn't make sense to be a Baal Nefesh for only one. He says, Yachmir Bekula. He says, all of them. Right? The shoes is the least important. The shoes probably wouldn't even apply.
Right, so it's either all or nothing, basically,
Yeah.
for the Baal Nefesh.
If we take a look at the Shla inside of Maseches Tainis on Ner Mitzvah, we will discover that there are around 3 differences how the Magen Averaham quotes this Shla. And I don't know why he switches it around. It's fitting to be stringent with the 3 fasts, he says, and like Tisha Beav Shekulam Mishum Hey Mishum Churban, all of them have to do with the destruction of the base of Mikdash. In Goizim Gazel you don't make a decree unless most people could handle it, as the Gemara in Baba Kama says. Ayin Tes. Alkein, therefore, loy hechmiru ela b'Tisha Beav atzmo. They were only stringent on Tisha Beav itself. Mavor v'divya pardesh and eschabe b'shem Rashi explained from the pardesh written by Rashi. Shalkein, therefore, if you have an individual who feels that he's able to handle this, seems like there's individuals. It's good that he should be stringent on all 4 fasts. To what? To already stop eating the night before the fast, even though the fast starts by dawn. Nevertheless, it's the night before. So we see from this pardesh, Rashi, we see that this is specifically talking about eating, to be stringent with eating, not to eat the night before. Says the Shla, commenting on this Rashi, V'nira be'enai, it appears in my eyes that dafka b'achilush lahafsik mevoy joim yachmir. This is specifically talking about eating and drinking, that one should now not refrain from eating and drinking the night before the fast. He should be stringent. Interesting spelling. In order that it will be of complete fast day and night. Conversely, but with other matters, you do not need to be stringent. Nevertheless, if someone will be stringent with them, privately, so that it will not look like religious arrogance, a bracha should befall him. In other words, the Shla is clearly differentiating between eating and all of the other items in the other categories, such as the bathing, anointing, the relations, etc. So his language is like this. You don't need to be stringent. Ein sarach lahachmir. If you are privately, a bracha should befall you. I'd like to point out around 3 differences of how the Magen Averaham quotes the Shla, which is surprising. And I don't know the answer to why the Magen Averaham does this, and it's questionable. Not only surprising, it's questionable. The Magen Averaham says, a Baal Nefesh should be stringent with everything. Shla never said that. Shla says, you don't need to be stringent. Clearly says you don't need to be stringent. Maybe eating's in a different category. Eating, there would be more of a reason, according to the Shla, to be stringent, to already refrain from eating the night before the fast. If you are stringent with everything in other categories other than eating, a bracha should befall you. Magen Averaham didn't say it. Magen Averaham said, you should be stringent. Magen Averaham then said, groups everything together when he quotes the Shla. The Magen Averaham does not differentiate, like the Shla did, between eating and everything else. That the Shla is much more leaning towards the idea of already refraining from eating the night before. Issue 2. And lastly, the Magen Averaham quotes the Shla saying, shoes, don't worry about it. There's no stringency in that. You could wear leather shoes. Why? So that people won't make fun of you. Where do you see that over here? Where do you see shoes that people won't make fun of you. He says over here, so that it won't look like religious arrogance, you should do this privately. You should be stringent with all of this privately, which the Magen Averaham didn't specify that this is a private activity over here.
The general halacha of shoes. Now, in Tisha Beav, right, that you're allowed to wear shoes if you're going from one city to the other. There's different Ateres of shoes.
The truth of the matter is, if you look over here, he's quoting. Oh no, that's tevilah. Wait, what were you saying?
See, we know in shoes there's a different, there's certain even on Tisha Beav, there's certain leniencies.
Yeah.
That if you're going, like in public.
Yeah. Okay. We're not okay.
He's bringing that in.
He doesn't talk about it over here.
Now, who's this Pardes Sefer Pardes?
It's Rashi.
Quoting Rashi.
It's Rashi. I'm not sure. He quotes it.
Right.
He says B'Shem Rashi. He's quoting Rashi.
Sefer Pardes. But who's the Sefer Pardes?
I don't know. He's quoting Rashi though. He's quoting Rashi. Anyways, this is basically the foundation of the major discussion when it comes to, is there an idea of being stringent, perhaps, not to bathe? Why or why not? Should be pointed out that there are different levels. Okay. By the way, the Shla talks about this again over here on in Os Ches over here. Talks about this a little bit more. It's actually going into Besamim, which they also go into over here. He goes into this a little bit more. But forget about the Shla for now. We already spent enough time on the Shla. There's another category of not bathing or showering on the tinus, on a fast. The Bach, at the end of the Siman, rules, first of all, this is actually subject to a machlekes, an argument among the great Rishonim from 1,000 years ago, if you're allowed to bathe at least with hot water or not. It's quoted over here. It's Tosfos in Tainus Yud Gimel, Rishonim, different opinions over there. But the Bach says, Amnan achshal v'loi ra'inu mishanohig lirchitz b'shleisha soimas. Now, we never saw anyone who has the custom to bathe and take a shower on these fasts, but also lahoira setter. It's prohibited to give someone a halachic ruling this way and say that it's permissible. Okay? That's the Bach. The Pri Megadim differentiates. The Pri Megadim, not on his commentary to that Magen Averaham, but in the Mishna Berura on the commentary to the Taz, says Rechitza Hainu B'cham Aval Soinin Yeshleimer Deshari B'Shloisha Soinis. Shlosh is a tremendous insight. Kiddush. Bathing that we're talking about, showering, is specifically with hot water, but cold will be permissible.
That's what the Bach is going on.
Correct. And I'm happy that you brought that up. That was very sharp of you. That's Reb Shmuel Karp we're talking here. Why? Because one could easily confuse this and say this Pri Megadim is even according to the Shla, which is not true. According to the Shla, you should be stringent and not even use cold water, it seems like. This is going within the Bach. He says, look at the Bach right before he quotes this. And then he also quotes with the Shla on this. But it seems like this is within the Bach. In other words, this is according to the letter of the law. This isn't arguing on the Shla. This isn't defining the Shla. This is according to Me'ikar Hadin. The Shla is a stringency. You don't bathe. Or at least the way the Magen Averaham brings the Shla, but even according to the Shla, it's a stringency at best. It's tavol or bracha. A bracha should befall you if you're not going to bathe the shower. But from the letter of the law, it's permissible, even according to the Bach, who says, we never heard of such a thing. From the letter of the law, it's permissible if it's cold, which is pretty relevant in the summer because a lot of people take showers that aren't hot. Vuadin panav yod v'ragla b'chamin yishlomer d'shabri. Same halacha applies. Your hands, your face, hands, and feet, you are allowed to bathe even with hot water or shower, even with hot water on a fast day. So this is according to the Bach. If you're going to be super stringent like the Shla, you would not even do this. Let's talk about pools, though. How does this apply to pools practically? Rav Harfenes in Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh Yisrael deals with the Shiloh. About the pool business. And he says that it seems like the custom is to refrain from washing or bathing for pleasurable purposes, at least with hot water. This is kind of within the Pri Megadim, but a twist for pleasurable purposes. Cold would be permissible. It's very hot outside. But without that, you should refrain from going, notice, in a public pool. This is straight out of the playbook, by the way, of the Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh in a small siman. Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh, the Debesina, Chela Gimel Siman Ayin Zayin. He says you shouldn't be going in a pool or in an ocean for pleasurable purposes. For pleasurable purposes. Rav Harfenes continue. What?
Okay, sorry.
What?
No, it seems again he's on the public side, a nahar, a river.
Correct. And we'll see why momentarily. In the Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh Yisrael, Rav Harfenes Siman Yud Zayin and the Bein HaMetzarim says public pool would be an issue. And you don't want to gather. It's a lot of times when you go to the pool, you go swimming, you go to the ocean, it's a social activity by definition. That's not what we should be doing on a fast day. But if you are going to a mikveh, for sure, that's okay. Or if you're going in a private pool, you're doing your laps, that's fine. So there's a difference between public pool versus private. There's no difference, by the way, between a public pool and a private pool where there's a lot of people in the private pool. Talking about you're not having a pool party, okay, or a small pool party. That's the difference.
So are we saying, according to them, that the Baal Nefesh or the tevilah bracha is only going on taina? Or would even
That's going on everything.
It's going on.
It's going on everything.
Okay.
It's going on everything. This is talking about more within the Bach and the Pri Megadim from the letter of the law. This is more from the letter of the law. From the letter of the law, me'ikar hadin, it's not a stringency. One should not be going to a public ocean or a public pool or having a pool party. That's from the letter of the law. However, if a person is doing it because it's very hot outside, then that's something else. Or, as we'll continue seeing right now, quotes everything that we just saw. Everything. Towards the end of this tshuva, he quotes the Ateres Zekanim. The Ateres Zekanim was actually quoted on the page of the Mishna Berura. Is quoted. The Shar Hatzeon mentions this Ateres Zekanim. Shar Hatzeon comments, and he says, why, from the letter of the law, are you allowed to bathe or shower on a fast day? When they accepted the fast on these 4 fasts, they didn't accept that it was going to be this as stringent as Tisha Beav. Everyone couldn't handle it. Baal nefesh, Yahmir, בכולן, but Tisha Beav, the Mishna Berura takes the exact language that the Magen Averaham uses. A Baal nefesh should be stringent, just like on Tisha Beav. Same thing as the Magen Averaham. Then the Mishna Berura says, by the way, an exception, asar, betaves, if asar betaves falls out on the eve of Shabbos, ein lahachmir, you don't need to be stringent because of bathing in hot water, because in honor of Shabbos, aka, as we learned in the past, in some Reish Shamach, is a mitzvah to take a shower or a bath, specifically with hot water, because it cleans better on the eve of Shabbos.
It's kind of enjoyable.
Yeah. Now, the Shar Hatzeon over here quotes the Ateres Zekanim. Even if it's enjoyable, its primary purpose is for, the primary purpose is for in honor of Shabbos. The Shar Hatzeon down here in Ostes, make that Osches, quotes that Ateres Zekanim who writes, Nowadays, it's not our custom to bathe or shower on these 3 fasts. And the Pri Megadim writes that says hot water, but cold is going to be permissible, and also your face, hands, and feet will be permissible even with that. So that's the Pri Megadim. This is from the letter of the law. From the letter of the law, we do not take hot baths or showers. There's a lot of information. I'm trying to present it in a very clear way. From the letter of the law, we do not take hot showers or baths on fast days. That's me'ikar hadin. Unless it's going to be the face, hands, or feet. There's a stringency of not even doing that. Or not even taking a cold or shower bath. So he quotes the Ateres Zekanim over here. And then he says, he quotes the Shilos Veteshuvos Mekadesh Yisrael as well. Okay. Says he shouldn't be going to a swimming pool. That's just for pleasure. Okay. And then he says, look at the Piskay Teshuvos, and he doesn't quote the Sif Katan. I quoted it. You can look in the Os Ches, footnote 49. Okay. For some reason, it's a funny thing. You don't see this in a lot of Svarim. He, I guess, didn't have time to look at the exact place in the Piskay Teshuvos. It's Rav Harfenes.
Still Rav Harfenes?
Yeah, I'm just sharing a funny thing, but we don't
say the tzibur. He just says swimming pool.
Yeah, he says swimming pool. We're going to come back to the tzibur in a moment. Says like this. If someone is going to a pool or to an ocean to cool off, it is very hot. There's a heat wave. There's no AC for some reason. That's almost considered medicinal. That's for medical purposes, and it will be permissible. But just swimming as a pleasure, Greda alone, a person should refrain from that. So there's a difference if it's done for pleasure or for because it's very hot or exercise, etc. Medicinal. Shilos and Shuvas Siach Yitzchok. Actually tried looking this up. I put in the Otzer. I got 30 Sfarm. I was overwhelmed and I didn't see this name over here. I don't know. Maybe I didn't look it up properly. I don't know. He also quotes on this as well. And he says, by a public swimming pool, you should be stringent. Because the actuality is people who go there, they go there to have fun. All right? That shouldn't be done on these fast days. Okay? Person has to have a serious mindset. But a private pool, that would be permissible. Cool off.
It's a public lap pool.
It's a public lap pool. You're going there strictly for business purposes, just to do your laps and no one else is there. That's fine if you go early in the morning. But if you're going when other people are there, that's already becomes a social activity. Even if you're going and you're trying to act antisocial, it is a social activity by nature. Yeah, even just seeing other people, forget about it. What do we have left with? We have left with the Piskay Teshuvos. Piskay Teshuvos also addresses this specific topic in short, actually. Not a lot of length on this topic. And he says, in Osches, Yesh lahachmir shalelech lebircho liyam belelu b'yoyim hatzoyim. Even though it's rechitza b'tzoyne, and even though it's considered when you go to the ocean, when you go to the pool, like bathing or showering in cold water, which would be permissible. Nevertheless, since it's for tainug, it's for a pleasure, you should be stringent. And he quotes in the footnote, however, if you're doing it for medicinal reasons, for medical purposes, you're going to the pool, you're going to the ocean, etc., that will be permissible. Same exact psak, all repetitious. Here he quotes the same tshuva for the debit ziner. I haven't seen any more tshuvas. If I did, I'd look into it more, but it's a dead end on this. The tshuvas are pretty brief. It's pretty straightforward. Shaila comes out like this. Let's get a recap. We just covered a lot of ground. I spent a lot of time looking into this and preparing it and narrowing it down to this. The exact sources that we needed for this topic. From the Torah all the way down. Comes out from the letter of the law, it's permissible to take a bath or a shower on a fast. Why? Congregation can't handle it. However, the Shlosh says there's an idea of being stringent. Okay? He doesn't say stringent, there's an idea of not bathing and showering, and a blessing should befall you. Magen Averaham twists that around a little bit and says you should be stringent. A Baal Nefesh should be stringent. The Bach says from the letter of that the custom is not to bathe or shower at all. It's actually subject. There's different opinions in the Rishonim also about this. That's the ruling of the Bach. The Pri Megadim, within this Bach, who's talking about from the letter of the law, you should not be bathing or showering at all, says that's specifically with hot water. But cold water is permissible to bathe or shower, and furthermore, you could use hot water for your face, feet, or hands. Even so, the poskim say that when it comes to a swimming pool, including the Devatzina, Rav Harfenes, Piskay Teshuvos brings, you should not be going to a pool or a ocean for pleasurable purposes, or if it's in public. If you're going to cool off or for medical reasons, you do laps every single day, that will be permissible. Certainly a mikvah will be permissible. According to the Shla, you shouldn't do any of it at all, and a bracha should be for you if possible. That is the summary in 1 minute of is it permissible to use a pool or go to the ocean on a fast day, or take a shower or a bath. Any questions or comments on anything that we learned today whatsoever?
I think so. I want to talk about.
Yeah, what David?
Where this is not really.
Can't hear you. Talk up.
Where's the answer come from? Walking barefoot, walking. Where's that come? Why can't we walk?
Walking barefoot?
No, yeah, without
it's tevilah. It has nothing to do with the swimming though. So we'll cover it another time.
All right, but I'm saying, but also, that's tevilah. But no, as far as having your.
Do you have any questions about what we just covered today?
All right, and then so if you have a private pool, it's basically it's mutter as long as it's for exercise. Yeah. As long as it's for exercise.
Yeah. And it'd be a gathering with friends and everything. Yeah.
Do you have a private pool? And we were talking about we're talking about all the 6 tanesim,
No, as we specified in the beginning, we are not talking about Yom Kippur and Tisha Beav.
I know, but yeah, everything else. And I don't think that's it. All right. Oh, wait, this isn't Nogea and mikvahs at all, right?
What?
Is this Nogea mikvahs?
Mikvah will be okay if it's cold for sure. Yeah. What do you want to say?
No, we address basically everything.
Yeah.
It seems like it's funny. This past Sheva was like about 6, 7 o'clock. I was feeling great. The morning I was horrible.
Yeah.
And then I was saying maybe I could do less. I said, no, she was a promise.
If this Shiloh is researched properly, like the way we just did, it's pretty simple when it's broken down like this in terms of the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right. Of depending upon the scenario, but it is a little complicated because there's a lot of different factors, and there's a lot of different opinions. But I think that this is presented very clear. Have this all typed up also. Send it to you.
I mean, I think this echoes a little bit as I was going to say, the Shiva for emotions is about allowing kids. I mean, allowing kids to go in the 9 days to cool off. To go in the pool in the camp.
Seems a lot more mutter right now.
Moshe has a tshuva? Oh, that's 9 days. That's not a fast. That's not a fast. No, that's something else.
It sounds like
instructional. Some well-known halacha. Every camp does instructional.
But I think that does instructional. But I think also if it's really hot, he allows them to go cool off a little bit.
That's 9 days though. That's
right. No, but it's the same.
Right. Same idea. Same idea that it's not for pleasure. It's for to cool off.
Cool off is very hot.
Correct. They call it AC shower.
Is that what they call it?
They call it AC shower, but camps don't have. Now I think every camp has AC in the dining room. I think even the bunks have them, right? The bunks. When I grew up, only the one camp had it in the bunks. They were like, ooh. Now it's the whole point of camp is you have that little fan that goes around that's half broken. That's what camp is about. It's not about the air conditioning. If you get any air conditioning, forget. Whatever. All right, yeah. Have a good day. Next 7 minutes session. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so.